Black Lives Matter definitely doesn't want to have people hear about how Black Lives Matter activists attack and belittle gay men for walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. Also, I realized I don't think I posted this picture. I feel like I just forgot. But when we went back to the hotel, they had to like lock down the hotel. It was surrounded. The protesters like just barricaded the hotel. They needed like 500 cops screaming all night. And by the way, it drives me crazy how people keep calling them protesters. I'm like, what are you protesting? People going to sleep in their jammies?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'll show you this. Look, this is insane. This is from, let me find it. This is from my hotel window at maybe like 2 a.m.
That's crazy.
That's Trump wasn't staying there. No one was staying there. It's people going to sleep at a hotel. And this is what it takes to go listen to the president of the United States speak. This is what it takes.
That's crazy. Well, now they're going to people's, and I want to hear about your full RNC experience in a second. I want to do some super chats, but there was a video that came out today. Jack Posobiec tweeted it of, I'm pretty sure this was in DC. They tried to go to the mayor's house in DC and they kind of blocked it off. So they started going to the neighbors' houses and banging on the doors at 2 a.m. of her neighbors' houses and saying, "Are you aware that your mayors are showing blah, 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 XYZ?"
Mayor's a radical leftist.
And the residents started shouting at them. They were like, "It's 2 a.m. Go home. Get off my lawn." They were not happy. You should. But I want to hear about the RNC because like this was awesome. You were featured at the RNC and you got to go to the White House and be there for Trump's speech. And you were like in like the 6th row or something right in front of him. You had amazing seats. Tell us about this experience.
How crazy is that? So, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I got a call to go to Florida to film a video for the Trump campaign. So it was awesome. I went there. Libby was in it. Shamika was in it. Linda was in it. A bunch of our people. And it was really fun. I shot it the whole day. It was like a 3-hour interview. They cut it down like very short. I feel like they didn't show any of like the cool shit I said. But what was really cool though is like, you know, I always feel like I kind of need to like prove myself everything I do because I always feel like, who the hell am I? Like, why should anyone care what I have to say? So it was really, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm shooting my own horn, but they were also complimentary to me when I filmed it and were so nice. Like they asked me, like a couple people were like, "Oh, where'd you get your political science degree from?" I'm like, I dropped out of high school. Like, so to go from like a high school dropout to the White House is just crazy. And they're all, and I gotta say, all the people who work on his campaign are just like the nicest freaking people. They are so cool. So like a day or two maybe before the convention, they called me and invited me to the White House. And I got to, how crazy is that?
That's insane.
And actually something that really meant a lot to me was a couple nights ago, one of the people who's like one of the heads of his campaign, she called me and she was saying about how like she was like very emotional when she called. She was like, her brother is gay. And like, she was like, just a few years ago, Republicans wouldn't even acknowledge gay people. And now I'm so proud of you and all of you, like all these amazing things. You're like, you're really changing the face of the Republican Party and changing the party. And so that really meant a lot to me. That was awesome.
Well, and that's one of the things I said too, because I remember when the speaker list came out for the RNC, I was kind of pissed that Brandon wasn't on it, to be honest, because Brandon has worked so hard, and like Scott Presler too. Like Scott Presler absolutely should have spoken at the RNC.
Both of them should have.
Both of them. And what was actually really amazing to me was watching the reaction on Twitter and seeing these Republicans and conservatives demand that these 2 gay men be included in their convention. I was like, this is like the Twilight Zone. I never would have thought like 20 years ago, like that this would be the reality today. They would be the Republicans demanding that there's more gay men at their convention, and the Democrats are the ones that are attacking you guys. Like, it's crazy.
Yep. And I think which also, by the way, it was the most amazing night ever. So it was crazy because they were playing before Trump spoke. They had like huge screens that they were playing the convention on. So when my video came on that I did, it was so crazy afterwards. Everyone like was clapping and looking at me. It was crazy. It was like, I never got to go to the prom. So this was like the prom.
What was that like to like watch your videos surrounded by like all these dignitaries?
It was
like, what was that like?
embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Like anyone was like sitting within inches of me. Kellyanne Conway, Giuliani, Mike Huckabee, like everyone. It was crazy. But
amazing.
What I was going to say though is I think it proved a very important point afterwards in that. So we were immediately accosted the moment we walked out. There were people waiting for us. So there were these two, there amongst many people who were screaming, there were these two beta gays, is what I would say. Those bitchy, catty, you know, those types. So they're screaming at me, "You hate yourself. You're self-hating, self-hating." That's the only line they have. I'm like, okay. As I was like, no, I love myself. It's you I could kind of take or leave.
Yeah, for real.
But so they're just screaming at me, self-hating, self-hating. And it's funny. So they took everyone's lighters when we went in because they have a lot of security. So you weren't allowed to have lighters there. So I came out and I'm like, oh, I want a cigarette. So I saw you smoking. So the guy's screaming in my face, calling me self-hating. I was like, yeah, I hate myself, but can I use your lighter? And he literally took it and threw it in the fucking sewer. I'm like, okay, well, that's like
that really showed you
75 cents for you. Like, sucks for you. But so anyway, though, so they're screaming, I hate myself, I'm self-hating, whatever. 10 minutes later, you know, you guys all know what happened. We were accosted by these people screaming in our face, putting their fists in my face. They hit Libby. They threw a drink on Brandon. They spit on me. They're screaming, saying all this anti-gay shit. So let me get this straight. Either I join sides and support the people who degrade me, dehumanize me, spit on me, and call me a with their fists in my face.
You're determined to have this live stream demonetized, aren't you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll edit it out later. It's cool.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the mentality that they have, right?
Or I hate myself. If I don't support these people, I hate myself.
Obviously.
You have to hate yourself to support them.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, so Esmeralda here says, I was bothered Brandon was not on it either. Thank you for the super chat. No, I completely agree. Like, this is all about, like, these people have no self-esteem at all. You can tell just by the way they carry themselves. And this is not like you can have self-esteem and look any certain way, right? Because it's just all about confidence. It's how you project, right? You can tell by how they carry themselves, what they do to themselves, how they it's just like everything about them screams, I have no self-esteem. And they are determined to pull everyone else down with them. These people are insane.
They're hideous, first of all. And I don't say that in a shallow way or in a looks way, because there are all sorts of people, different types of who look different certain ways, but their inner beauty shines through, and it's these people that it's their inner ugliness, and they're just such ugly people on the inside that the outside is an extension of that.
Absolutely.
They're miserable people on earth.
Maddie says, I can't believe they spat on you. I'd rather someone punch me in the face than spit on me.
Same, because then I could fucking punch them back. That's what, well, even then in this case, I don't know. That's what sucks is like, there was only one time in my life that someone called me the word
the F word.
I hate when people say that word. I had like grabbed my shoulder and shit. I was brought up on assault charges and had to go to court because I beat the shit out of him. So standing there being spit on, having fists in my face, having them hit my friends, and not being able to do anything, and knowing that I cannot fight back to a black woman, I'm going to hit a black woman back or spit back at a black woman, and then that's all they'll show. They'll cut that piece out. It'll be international news, the racist Nazi hate crime. So it's very difficult knowing that you have to just take it. And
right.
Even if you do, then they're still the victims. It's insane.
And Brandon said this too, I think, on Tucker. He talked about how like these people are convinced that they're victims when they're victimizing actively other people.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, I don't know if you guys watching it, I don't know if a lot of you maybe haven't experienced this and haven't witnessed these people, but let me tell you, and it's not just these specific people. It's time after time after time. The people protesting us in New York, the people protesting us in Chicago and DC. Every time I've never in my entire life seen such utter hate, into like the hate that is in their eyes is palpable. And like, I've been through my fair share of things in life, that I've been mugged, I've been attacked, I've been assaulted, whatever. Cool, we survived. Even all of those people who did those things, I did not see the level of hate and dehumanization that I see in these people. It's not about politics anymore. This is not about politics. I almost wonder how this happened, that it's become, the leftist activism has sort of become a place for mentally unwell, disturbed people to gather and be told that their instability is virtuous.
Yeah. And I mean, and even it becomes like part of who they are. I mean, you see these profiles, they put like, I'm depressed, I suffer with this, I suffer with that. So they're internalizing it. And that is the saddest thing of all for me, to be really honest, because these things are things that you can fix. A lot of them, maybe not all of them. Yeah, and overcome. And you'll live a much better, happier, more fulfilled life if you do that. And convincing people that that these issues are just part of who they are and they can't do anything about it. It just boggles my mind. I used to have this conversation with my old friends all the time, because a lot of them, they struggle with depression and they struggle with anxiety. And I would try to tell them, I'd be like, well, I have too. And meditation really helped me, or this really helped me, and that really helped me. And it was just always like, no, Carla, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to do it. I'm like, it won't work for me. I can't do it. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you try? Like, why? But they had already started getting indoctrinated into this. Yeah, they might lose
victim points.
It's exactly it.
People are I mean, they are truly psychotic.
No, they really are. And it's terrible. One of the things that was striking to me about the statement from the American Psychological Association was that I don't remember exactly the wording that they used, but they suggested that we should follow the protesters, or the protesters are leading. And I was like, you are mental health professionals. These people are not mentally healthy. And even research tells us that they are significantly more likely to have any number of mental illnesses, people on the left than people on the right. Why are we playing into this? It just makes absolutely no sense.
They're absolutely psychotic. And the thing is, like, they don't know anything. I mean, look at these people screaming at Rand Paul about Breonna Taylor, having no clue that he wrote the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act, and they don't care. You can tell them that and they'll still be screaming in his face. He's still one of the bad people. It doesn't matter to them. They're robotic. It's creepy.
Let's see.
I sort of think about. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I sort of think about how this happened, and what I go back to is that I blame the media and also Democrats, because these people have been told, we are living under fascism. We have this Nazi, Hitler-esque dictator. He's putting people in concentration camps. He's putting children in cages. This is fascism. Speech is violence. You are under attack. How do you think people are going to respond?
Right. No, exactly.
Because they truly believe that. They don't know anything about policies. They don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Because like an idiot, I try to talk to these people, and there's no talking to them. I mean, talking to a road cone. So I try to talk to them, and because I genuinely want to know why they are advocating voting for somebody who created all of the systems that they're protesting against. Mm-hmm. They don't know that. They don't care. Because
Go ahead, sorry.
In-group, out-group. They're part of the in-group, and they need to hate on the out-group.